tell me if you can hear me. Let's see. Quite a few people jump on and then jump off. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm going to go ahead and unshare for a second. Um, Welcome everyone. My name is Michael Reed, and I am, I used to do the mastermind a lot. And without going into it too much, we basically, the mastermind principle is not, hey, let's all learn from Michael Reed, which is fine. But the principle is that you learn from each other and everyone helps lift each other up and do it that way. But during this 10-week mastermind, for specifically for process servers, I have a lot of clients who are process servers. So I'm focusing on how I can best serve them, and the best way I know how to do that is to kind of share the things I learned and bring in people who I know are industry experts to talk about the topics that I'm not as proficient in. Okay. And so there's a man named Cliff Jacobs who I wanted to come on and talk about client expectations with us today. I learned everything, most of what I know about client expectations and like how the different types of clients and what those expectations are and how to set them for success in the beginning. And so we're going to talk about some of those things. But as you can see in the mastermind principle, one of the most important things is that you kind of run with a certain agenda that helps promote everybody and helps everybody in their businesses. So we don't leave anybody behind. Okay. That's the idea. So you're only as strong as your weakest link. That's the idea. So, if you look on the screen here, we're going to welcome message. We just did that. Attendee introductions. The rule, as you guys watch the replays, I'm getting a lot of people watching the replays. So that's good. Good follow up. That's why I'm posting them on there. You can go to mightywebsitebuilder.com/mastermind or just go on resources and find mastermind. But what you're going to do is as you watch the replays and as you can watch these things over and over and over again, and some of these experts that come on and talk about these different things, it's going to help you in your business. Okay. And so, but one of the things I want to do is give people an opportunity. Those who want to introduce themselves will have an opportunity to do so during this segment of the mastermind. So in order to do that, you have to show your video. Now we're only doing introductions for those people who have their videos turned on. So I can usually see, gallery view. So I'm the only one that has my video turned on. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next segment, which is the 20-minute expert instruction. So what we're going to talk about during this expert instruction is essentially how to understand the different types of clients. So there are 3 types of clients that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to make this short and to the point as best as I can, okay? But there are 3 different types of clients. We're going to talk about it. So one, first of all, where are they going to come from? So I'm going to list them out here. And you guys might want to take notes on this because this is something that I learned over years of doing this business, process serving business. So you have affiliates, you have attorneys, and pro ses. We're putting them in the same section for now. And then you have contracts. So the important thing to realize is actually these people are going to find you. You're going to have to go out for these guys. They might find you, but you're going to go out for them. So I'm going to break this down here one by one. So the first one here is your affiliates. Now, before you go like, well, I already know all this stuff, bear with me because we're gonna dive into it a lot here. So if you're just coming on, welcome everybody. If you're just coming on, we're diving into the expert instruction about we're diving into it here. So welcome, Lawrence. And as people come on, I don't really have a moderator. It's just a 10-week thing we're doing here. If we keep going, I might end up getting somebody to help out with moderation. And let me know, you guys, if you end up sitting in the waiting room for too long, let me know. There was one week I did it where I didn't do a waiting room. I just let people come in and spammers just like killed me. So I don't know how that happened, but all right. So okay, so there are 3 types. It looks like people are coming on in. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. So right now we're talking about the different types of clients, and I'm going to break down the expectations and how to deal with those specific client types. So, first of all, as a marketer, from a marketing perspective, an attorney or a pro se, I mean, an affiliate can find me on my website, but let me just put this here. So, but the goal here is that these types of clients are going to find me on my website. Hey, Charles, welcome, man. Long time no see. So the idea here is the attorneys and pro ses are going to come on and they're going to find me via my website. Affiliates may as well, but they're in a whole field of their own because of the requirements that they have, what they need. They're a little more needy as far as like they're less needy in some ways, but they're more needy in others. We'll talk about it in a second. So attorneys um and pro ses are on our website, and they're let's just break it down so I'm not so scatterbrained. So attorneys and pro ses, what are their expectations? Totally different, right? An attorney or a paralegal comes in, they want to know right away how much it costs, are you close by, and that has a lot of implications because you want to know when it comes to marketing and how you're going to position yourself in that local area. So let's just assume for a second that we're just talking about in our backyard. You're trying to get business in your backyard, in your local area. Okay. So an attorney is going to expect, they're my favorite clients because they're the client that's going to send you the work, and 9 out of 10 times they don't call you. They just expect that you're a professional, that you're going to deliver the proof of service on time, you're going to do what you're supposed to do, and 9 times out of 10 they're not going to really care about the price as long as it's under $99. There was a study done said anything under $99. So I'm starting with them because they're the ideal client. The other reason why they're an ideal client is because unlike a pro se, an attorney is going to need you again and again and again, whereas a pro se client, other side of the spectrum, but don't count them out because they are also going to find you on your website initially. And when they do, a lot of times they, just like the attorneys, they don't balk at your price. So some might, okay, but for the most part, they find you, they think you're a professional, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna pay whatever you're asking. You know, you're the professional, like just get it done. I was told I needed a process server. Here we go, right? So that's, if you know, just that part right there is really powerful because now you know your greatest profit margins are in your website. So what are the client expectations from an attorney's standpoint? An attorney's going to want to know, or an attorney's going to, their expectations are that you're professional, you're going to deliver the proof on time and all that stuff. But here's the thing, if you go above and beyond for your ideal client, like an attorney, you're 9 times more likely or 10 times more likely for them to tell another attorney, for them to tell the other attorney inside their office, hey, these guys were really good. And I've seen it happen time and time again. So let's talk about pro ses for a second. Like I said, your profit margin's still high on them, but they're a lot more needy than an attorney. See, you got to understand, and I know because I've been this guy before. When I got served divorce papers and I was trying to I was trying to complete these legal documents because I thought I was going to lose my kids, right? So there's all these emotions going on, and you're trying to figure it out. You call a process server, come to find out you could just mail the document in some cases, which is my case. But knowing all that stuff and knowing that they don't know the whole process behind this whole legal system, like to us, it's second nature. It's like, dude, calm down. Like, I'm making attempts on the thing. And he's like, it's been 3 days. She could have left the state with my kid, you know, and they're just emotional. So a pro se client, Cliff Jacobs, told me something. I told him back in the day in like 2015, I told him, I hate pro se clients. I hate them. I was like, I just like, if they call and they say they're pro se, I'm like, ugh. And he was just like, you know, in true Cliff fashion, Michael, listen up, Michael. And he really broke it down for me where I was like, he schooled me up. He said, listen, he goes, first of all, he pointed out the fact that they'll pay top dollar. Like they would pay more than attorneys if you could somehow position that on your website, right? But anyway, so they'll pay more. So he said the thing is you have to take baby steps with them and understanding that they have a high likelihood of leaving you a bad review. They have a high likelihood of not knowing what's going on. They think you're Amazon, so you went to try to deliver the document and you didn't, so they want a refund or whatever. So you got to tell them all those things up front. And if you do a good enough job of letting them know, look, so there's a couple things I got to tell you when you're talking to them on the phone. And And if they order from you online, your order form should say pro se attorney or whatever. And if it's a pro se, you would do really well by your business to call them and say, hey, I just want to let you know about a couple of things, or have an email that lays it out. But I would definitely call them and say, I just want to let you know I got your order online. We're going to do this for you. But there's 3 things I got to tell every new client. I just tell them, I tell everyone this, but it's really just so they're a pro se, right? When you pay us to go out there, you're paying us to make the trips. You're not paying us for successful delivery. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the case because you're paying for our time to go out there and knock on the door. We say we do 3 attempts, but my guys, I can stretch a couple more attempts out of them, make them feel like I'm doing going the extra mile for them. And here's the other upside to a pro se. An individual. I don't know if I mentioned that, but a pro se is an individual, a person that's just not an attorney, not an affiliate or whatever. The other advantage to a pro se is they're the most likely to leave you a bad review, but guess what? They're also the most likely to leave you a good review. Attorneys are doing this so often and they just like, okay, he's a good server, whatever. They may in 10 years leave you 1 review. That's just 1 client. But pro ses are your best source of getting like high amounts of reviews if you're doing a good job for them and you're communicating clearly with them. So see, we just extracted the best from both of those different types of clients, right? So if I get a pro se or an attorney, they're like automatic rushes, even though I don't tell them, even though I don't tell them that, because I want to under deliver. This is the main point of this whole video, is to under promise and then over deliver. So if they think they're getting 3 attempts, but my servers know they're going to do at least 5, they're always going to think that I'm over delivering for them. If my client thinks that we're doing an attempt in 72 hours, that's our routine service, but all my servers know to make an attempt within 24 to 48 hours, like that's always going to be over deliver. And that's the wow factor that gets people to leave you a review. And there's some other parts to that. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but you can automate a lot of that so that you can actually get the review, put that right in front of their face so they can hit the 5-star and go on. So a couple of things I definitely don't want to forget here, and then we'll do some conversations because I know Charles got a lot of experience. We can kind of mastermind here a little bit, but contracts. I know a guy, I won't mention his name, but he's up in Baltimore. 99% of his business is contracts. All he does is he'll go into these collection companies or some of these other companies, some of these, collection clients or whatever. And all they do is contracts. And the reason why is they want to have less clients to have to deal with. If you have 100 attorney clients and you get, who knows how many website clients, pro ses, you're dealing with all these different people, all these different preferences. Whereas if you're dealing with 6 large contract clients, it has its benefits because you only have 6 different people to make happy. Okay. So one of the things about contracts though, that, pros and cons here, their expectations are all a little bit different, but one of the main expectations for a contract client, I know this is elementary for some people, but bear with me here. Contracts, they really want a discounted rate. So that's kind of why I'm going over these 2 separate. So affiliates and contracts, I kind of throw them in the same boat, even though they're not. But the main reason why is because they both want such a discounted rate. Got some new people coming in. Welcome everybody coming in. Welcome you guys. We're right in the middle of it here, but you guys watch the replay, any of the stuff that you missed. So welcome, John. So we're kind of diving into it, and we're talking about contracts right now. So you got your contract clients and you got your affiliate clients. In my experience, contract clients like child support agencies, big credit bureaus that do debt collection, these are the kind of clients that they want a discount. But the beauty about those kind of clients, like I said a minute ago, is that those kind of clients are okay. They have certain preferences and they're a lot more lenient, like attorneys are, in the sense that I mean, honestly, all the contract clients I have, I've went into their offices, taught them how to use my software, whatever software you're using, and you can actually they'll do all the data entry for you, and they'll I mean, I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries in a day of just where the child support, the county child support division, they're doing all the data entry and the server manager for me, and then I'm just printing out field sheet, or sending out field sheets with documents. That's what you want in a contract. So whenever you're negotiating a contract with a client like that, and you're trying to get that volume, understand that there's wiggle room. And the way to negotiate that could be a whole nother video, but the way to negotiate that is they want a little bit of a lower price. So what you get in exchange for that lower price is a little more county labor. That's how I always looked at it. Like, so instead of me getting 65 on a affiliate, I was charging 65 for affiliates, other process servers. I would lower it to, sometimes down to 45, because that $20 per job was their person was doing all the data entry on their end in Serve Manager, and then I would just have to literally on the front end just send it out. So, and then you get the volume too. So that's the other side of it. So what we talked about so far is like you get an affiliate who's always going to want to talk to you. That's one of the struggles with affiliates. So if you guys call me, you're like, hey, do I got to pay your website rate of $129, right? Or do I get a discount? Of course you get a discount, right? So how do you figure that out? Now they're going to email it to you. So now I got to do data entry where before I wasn't going to have to. So affiliates has always been kind of the redheaded stepchild. And so the way I like to deal with affiliates, I told you about attorneys and pro ses, the way that those are your website clients that are going to come in, they're going to pay the largest amounts. You're going to get the best margins on them. They're going to enter the forms. You're going to get all data entry automatically. You're going to get paid automatically. It's just like the sweetest apple. The pro ses, of course, you got to give them a little extra phone call, a little extra attention, and then you're milking the review out of that client, right? Because that they're more likely to leave a review. So you're building up your reviews, your profit margins are high. Contracts, you're getting the volume. So contracts are really what keep the lights on for your servers. If you want to have servers in other areas all over the country, contracts are the ones that do that. Your profit margins are so low, but because the volume is so high, it's keeping your servers out there. So when your server goes out there to serve 5, 6, 10 papers for you, that alone, you're making $5 on each one or $10 on each one. But when they go out and serve those and you send them with another paper from a pro se and you're making $80 profit on it, that's where it starts to make sense. And if they weren't already out there serving, then they wouldn't be available to do that. And they wouldn't want to do it for $25 or something. They'd want to do it for 50 or whatever. So that's kind of the breakdown. Those are the three main clients that focused clients that I like to talk about. Actually, four. I kind of lump these in because they're coming in from your website. But contract clients, and this is another point here from the marketing perspective. Contract clients will come in from your website. The interesting thing, and people talk about like, why do I need a lead magnet on my website? Contract clients generally they won't call you first. They'll go to your website. They'll do some checking out of your website, see how much, if your rates are on your website, how much you charge. Are you a professional? I mean, they're getting ready to send you potentially thousands of jobs. They've been assigned with finding a process server in the areas that you serve. They're going to get a few people on the list to return to their boss and say, hey, these are the guys I found. This one seems to be the most professional, whatever, and with the best rates. I'm going to give them a call. And so he'll say, give all three of them a call and see if they'll give you a discount bulk discount. So you want to have a lead magnet on your website so that when they leave, because they're going to leave, because they're just doing research. You want to have a lead magnet on your website that says like, like 10 mistakes, paralegals make when hiring a process server, right? And so they just can't resist putting their email address in to get that little download. And all it has to do is like a one pager that has 10 bullet points of like not checking the state, but they don't even get to see it unless they give you their email address. So let's say they get this free download. and then they we're getting into some marketing stuff here, but this is how I view it. You got your attorneys, they might get this free download as well, and you start building your email list. But the ultimate goal of this video is really just to teach you guys about expectations, what some of the other expectations are. Affiliates, I didn't mention. Affiliates will generally do their own proof of service. You know, they don't really expect, usually because they know they're getting a discount, they don't usually expect that you're going to do the proof of service for them. However, some do. So whenever, just like how you got to reach out to the pro ses, you got to reach out to the affiliates and say, how's this working out here? Like, you know, am I doing the proof for you? I know some bigger, larger companies have their own portals where they not only want you to do the proof of service, they want you to do the proof of service in their portal. And so generally they end up falling under a contract type of situation because they give you logins to their portals and they give you volume on a regular basis and this kind of thing. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys for client expectations. What are some of the questions we have or comments? Let's see here. Looks like John's on the phone. Lawrence, do you have any questions? Ask to unmute. Let's see if that works.
No, I don't. Right now, there's no questions off the top of my head.
Okay, perfect. So you guys, if you're watching the replay right now, just know, you know, you can always reach out to me, Mike at mightyautomation.com. You can also join any of the Facebook groups, you know, the Process Server Nation is what it's called. And, you know, in this mastermind, the whole goal here is to be able to network with each other. So Lawrence, if you ever have any questions, you reach out to me, reach out to, you know, John or, let's see, I know there's some other people on here. I just can't see them. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Actually, let me look in the chat here, make sure you guys don't have any questions. Da-da-da. Yeah, so one question a lot of people ask is like, how do I get contracts? And so one thing I would definitely do like ASAP is I would go check your, there's a place called Public Purchase. And Public Purchase is I know it's in California. I know they use it all over, but California specifically uses it all the time for getting bids. And so what they do is they do like a request for proposal. And if you ever want to have a contract with any of these larger public entities, that's usually what you'll have to do is you'll be a part of their list. And so whenever they want to get a request for proposals, whenever they want to get proposals, they'll send out a request for proposal. And then you get to submit. And honestly, the child support contracts are some of the easiest to get. Really, they're not 90% of their goal is to get the cheapest guy out there. So if you really want to keep the lights on, you can look for some of those local, you know, the one that's right in your backyard. And, you know, I've gotten a lot of those contracts. And then, but really the cream of the crop is the credit bureaus or the collection agencies. They really just it's just procedural for them. If you can get a contract with them, unofficial contract with one of these kind of agencies, you're just going to get hundreds and hundreds of jobs. And it's like a mill, you know, like they buy debt from the hospital and then they turn around and sue for it. And it's crazy, but it happens, and you can get a lot of work. And obviously there's the Chase, the Wells Fargo, and those ones, of course. You know, Gary Clayton's going to come on one of the upcoming ones talking about being safe, but I could have him come on and do a whole video about contracts. You know what he did was I don't know if he skipped trace, but he said he did some creative searching and he found the people's addresses, their business addresses for who to send letters to. And he actually sent like personal handwritten letters or even typed, and some of them were typed where he signed them to CEOs and CFOs. And he's got a really cool story about how the CFO, Chief Financial Officer of Chase, flew out to in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and rode around in his pickup truck with them to see if he was, the guy they needed, because they had went through so many big companies like Provest and stuff that they just couldn't get anybody to serve up in Oregon, in the mountains of Oregon. They couldn't get a good rate. And so he got his high dollar rate of 120, like it was like $130, $140 per serve. they wrote him a check for 30 grand that day and said, get ready for it because we're sending them to you. And
Mm.
his just that one contract, his business is blown up. And so what he attributes that to is he just sent letters out every single week. He'd send out a big stack of letters to the most important, Chase, Bank of America, and he kept sending them letters saying, hey, we're in the middle of nowhere. We don't accept work from big companies. I mean, big process serving companies. We're direct to client, and I think it's a really good idea. I mean, it's a shot in the dark, but what is it, $5, right? Or something, 25 cents for the stamp or whatever and stuff. And then you're off to the races. So I know there are different services that you guys might offer. So like if you're offering, I know we got John here who does the bail. If there are different services you offer, there are obviously different kind of clients. But this 10-week mastermind is main focus is on process serving. So I am planning on doing another 10-week. It's probably going to be on notary and e-notary coming up after this 10-week mastermind is over. So um, anyway, I've had a lot of fun, you guys. John, I need to get with you and on the forums. And you guys, if you have any questions, reach out to me, Mike at mightyautomation.com. And of course, show up next week. Today, I waited until the last minute to send the email because I had an interview I was editing, and Wednesdays are crazy. So definitely show up 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Peace out.